Most of the stuff that James Harden has done in the Brooklyn Nets uniform is without the services of Kevin Durant, and to some degree without Kyrie Irving. And so when I look at it, I say to myself, damn, this guy comes into Brooklyn. He's the three-time league leading scorer, 30 points per game over the last 3 games. He's been absolutely sensational. And then he comes to Brooklyn and says, I'll be the point guard. I'll be the facilitator. I'll get everybody involved. And Kyrie's like, thank you very, very much. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. That's news to my ear. And he's has run this team. Joe Harris was on a Woj podcast, and he was talking about what a godsend James Harden has been, what a leader he has been, how he's distributing the basketball, et cetera, et cetera. James Harden is flat out balling. He's putting up triple doubles like they're going out of style. He's leading the league in assists. He's still averaging 25 a game. And by the way, despite their troubles, they've won 10 of their last 11 games, and this man has led the way, and they're only a half game out of the Philadelphia 76ers for the #1 seed in the Eastern Conference without, again, the services of Kevin Durant for the last 18 games. That's why I look at James Harden in this fashion. That is why I believe he is the league MVP at this moment in time.
Harden's been unbelievable. I think he's playing the best basketball of his career, and that's saying something. I don't think he can be the MVP right now. He didn't start the season with the team. And it's not like, even if you think somehow he's been the most valuable player, it's not by enough to say, let's not count the games that he wasn't there, that Embiid was there. Joel Embiid has been the MVP right from the start of the season till now. So far in the first half, it's been wire to wire, Embiid #1. Even if you think Harden has been better offensively, and that's debatable, I think you could easily argue Embiid's been better offensively, averaging 30 with 11.5 boards and a block and a half, but 30 points a game, and his efficiency numbers are right there. Actually, want to know who has better efficiency numbers right now on offense, at least PER, right, is Jokic. But Embiid has been incredibly efficient and prolific scoring the ball. And even if you want to argue Harden has a tiny little advantage there because he's orchestrating the offense, what about the defense? Like, Harden's an underrated defender. I'm on the verge of saying he's a good defender, not quite there yet. But Embiid is, if he's not the best defensive player in basketball this year, he's the best defensive center. If Ben Simmons, or you want to point to one or two other guys, but he's on that level, you can't look at anyone and say, yeah, that guy was really much better defensively than Embiid this year. That's half the game. And then look at how Embiid is leading his team. Even like you're talking about guys getting ejected, he's pointing to, like, he wants Donovan Mitchell ejected. He's like doing what LeBron did to Draymond Green. He's kind of egging him on. He's being competitive all around. He's going into every arena saying, okay, who's the other guy's big? Gobert's the big. I want his pelt on my wall. Miles Turner, whoever it is, proving that he's better than the opposition night in and night out. Harden's been amazing. I can't say he's the MVP over Embiid so far. And by the way, to say nothing of LeBron, who's missed one game.
Yeah, I feel where you're coming from. Listen, James Harden, Joel Embiid has been a monster. He's been sensational. But James Harden, right now, I think that you have to take a few things into consideration. He was out of shape. You can hold that against him, obviously. I choose to hold it in his favor in this regard. Yes, he came into camp. He skipped training camp. He came into the season out of shape. His last few games in Houston, definitely he was tanking. He didn't give a damn because he wanted out, and he made it very, very clear. And he knew the only way he was going to get out of there is if he was a bit truculent to some degree, and that's what we saw. But ever since he's arrived in Brooklyn, we've seen the real James Harden. And I dare say we've seen an elevated level of James Harden because in Houston, he was your primary offensive option. He knows that isn't the case in Brooklyn. In Brooklyn, you've got Kyrie Irving, and then he's made it a priority to get the Jeff Greens, the Joe Harrises, even the DeAndre Jordans and others, the TLCs and others involved in game action. And so he's truly, truly running that team and reminding us of the potential that he presumably had at Oklahoma City when the Oklahoma City Thunder clearly said, this is Russell Westbrook's team. It's not yours. You're not that dude as of yet. And he went to Houston and immediately started showing, oh, yeah, yes, he is that dude. And so I think as a result of that, and also some of the things that we've said about him, you've acknowledged his improved play defensively. Offensively, we know what he can do. We wondered what he was willing to do, and now we're not even wondering about that anymore. Meanwhile, while the Sixers are loaded and healthy, they're still holding on for dear life to the #1 seed because Brooklyn is on their heels without Kevin Durant and in some games without a Kyrie Irving. This man, James Harden, is reliable and dependable, not just available. He's all of those things because every night, night in, night out, he doesn't want to take games off. He wants to play. He has never engaged in load management in his career. He's never done it. And so these are the kind of things I think he's forcing us to look at and to view him in the light that an MVP should be looked upon.
Let's not exaggerate Kyrie's absence, though. He has played in 26 games. He's averaging over 35 minutes a game. And Kyrie, and by the way, Harden also gets credit for this, but so does Kyrie, has been playing winning basketball, a winning brand of basketball, not just putting up numbers. And when you bring up guys like Joe Harris, dude might be the best shooter in the league other than Steph Curry, right? Like, Joe Harris can shoot the lights out. So it's not like in KD's absence, they don't have a squad. They got guys who can play.
I agree with that.
All right, we asked our first take fam at home. They thought it was Embiid. He won the poll of who's the MVP right now. But this was kind of interesting, guys. LeBron beat out Harden. Max, your thoughts on that? LeBron being ahead of Harden for MVP.
Yeah, I would say Embiid 1, LeBron 2, Harden 3. I can't believe I'm saying Harden's even top 3, considering he wasn't there for the beginning of the season for the Nets. But he is. He's forced his way into the conversation.
2 weeks ago, it was LeBron. A week ago, for me, it was Embiid because LeBron and the Lakers had gone on a 4-game losing streak. And now it's Harden at #1, Embiid at #2, LeBron at #3. It's fluid because it's that close. All three are balling. And I'm sure that we'll revisit this week to week as the season progresses. But right now, as I'm sitting here today, based on what I've seen, the Philadelphia 76ers have been on a little roller coaster. Brooklyn has won 10 of their last 11. And the Lakers won a little bit of roller coaster. And Harden hasn't had KD. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.